Welcome back to the Pilates Vitamin series. Today we're doing an exercise that I love. It's called the foot push-ups. I call them foot push-ups. So you'll get something that you can hold on to about waist height, maybe a little higher or lower is fine. And I do recommend you get something to hold on to, as I want you to really take your time with the exercise. Face that object as opposed to side facing. It'll be a little bit easier. And then let's start standing on the right foot, or you can choose whichever foot that you think is better. I would choose the foot that you think is more organized, that you feel more weight into, that you can think down into a little bit better. So for some, that might be the left foot or your right foot, whichever one that you feel you can organize a little bit better on. If you're unsure, just pick one foot. Look down into that foot and make sure that it's parallel in relation to your body, so that it's not turned out or turned in too much. You know how I set all the things up by now. Trying to keep it nice and parallel, and then spread through your toes. And what we're working on here in this exercise is the ability for the foot to really find the ground. So that's the first thing that I want you to do, is to allow your toes to spread like roots of a tree down and into the ground. And see if you can really get weight through the big toe, through the pinky toe, through the outer heel and the inner heel evenly. So already I'm doing a little bit of work in my foot. Stack the spine all the way on top of that, and make sure you're not tucked in your pelvis right now. Keep untucking your pelvis and start to grow in opposition to that foot. So you're going down into the foot and toes, up through the spine and head. Not so much that you hike the opposite hip. So that's not spinal length. Keeping your pelvis even and actually elongating through your spine is spinal length. So just take a breath and see if you can connect to that down and up. And then it's as if that your head just starts to win the down and up oppositional gain. You just start to let your head win a little bit, and your heel will peel off of the ground. Now, I don't want you to just pop up onto your toes. I want you to really roll through your foot as if it's a little spine on the floor, letting each part of your foot participate in that peel up. Are you tucking in your hips as you come up? Try not to. Keep releasing your sits bone. Don't use your back too much. And try not to lean forward into that object that you have. You're going to try to keep your weight back a little bit over your foot. So you're really using your foot to do this push-up. Now, as soon as you get up as high as you think you can go, look at your toes, just peer down in a moment. Are they wide, or feel down to them? Are they as wide as they can be? And then push down into those toes and come up a little higher. Take a breath. And nice and slow, peel back down. Think about this, the head still lengthening towards the ceiling, like I'm resisting that roll down. Take a breath, let your heel drop. Should be a little bit of work, a lot of blood flow down. The opposite hip is heavy. Your spine lengthens out, so much so that it starts to peel your heel off of the ground. And I'm long through my leg, but not locked back in my knee. So really finding that weight down into the big toe, up into the spine, feeling the opposition, rolling through the foot. Take a breath and nice and slow, roll back down, one piece of your foot at a time. Trying to connect every piece of the foot to the ground, full footprint down. Take one final breath, we go up last time. Pressing down, wide into the toes and foot. Try not to buckle the knee forward or tuck the tailbone under. You take your long spine straight up. Pushing all the way up. Drop that opposite hip a little bit more and really access your leg that you're standing on to come up a bit higher. Rolling back down nice and slow until you reach the floor, and take the opposite foot down. Take it out a little bit. Should be a lot of work for that side. And let's do the same thing on the opposite side. Now you'll have a little bit of a view of the hip that of the leg lifted up on me. So check it out and make sure that you as well are monitoring that opposite hip not to lift. Spread the toes, make sure you're parallel in that foot, stack your spine. Not tucked under in your pelvis, your ribs are back over top of your pelvis. Take a breath and try and go straight up, not forward. Wide with the toes, use the power of your foot to come up. Try and let your calf muscle, you'll definitely have calf work here, but try and let your calf muscle lengthen down towards your heel and up towards your hamstring, so that you can almost access a little more of your glute line to help pull that heel higher. You're going to really kick your knee long down into the big toe, and then pull up through the hamstring so that you're lengthening in two directions, dropping the opposite hip. Slowly roll back down through the foot spine, all the way back to your heel. Take a breath. On your exhale, peeling up, foot push up. Push down to go up. Heavy opposite hip, up to the sits bone, down to the big toe. How much length in either direction can you get? Go up a little bit higher over those wide toes and roll back down slowly. Now, if you feel like the ball of your foot is uncomfortable against the ground, take your mat, put it underneath you, or put a towel down underneath your metatarsal heads, which are the knuckles of the foot, so that you're not feeling that way down. But the more that you do this exercise and work through your foot, the less that you'll feel that padding that should be there. Oftentimes the foot loses, you can go through another repetition, loses its padding and ability, its movement, its work. And so we feel the bones of the foot a lot more. But I promise, the more you work through your foot, the less you'll feel the discomfort in it. Nice and slow, rolling back down. When you're done, and relax it. Good. Should really feel those feet as a good exercise to warm up with a little bit, get blood flowing down, or to stop the day with, to just make sure that you're nice and released through the whole lower leg line. Thanks so much, guys. See you tomorrow.